Hello, let us see the concept of a microcontroller. In the new curriculum of SYBSE Computer Science, there is a course in electronics on microcontroller architecture and programming. For this, first we need to understand the basic concept of a microcontroller. We are all aware of the block diagram of a computer. A computer works on the principle of input process output, where the input and output are given to a computer with the help of input and output units. There is a main CPU or the central processing unit which does the processing operations. For storage, the CPU is also attached to the primary memory. These are the main components inside any computer system. So the main components of the CPU are control unit and arithmetic logic unit. Arithmetic logic unit is used to perform arithmetic operations and logical operations. The control unit is used to generate the control signals and to sequence the flow of execution inside a CPU. With advancements in electronics and the advancements in IC technology, it is possible to fabricate the entire CPU on a single IC. An integrated circuit or IC is a large circuit on a small silicon wafer. With VLSI or very large scale integration technology, it is possible to manufacture entire CPU on a single IC, and this IC is called as a microprocessor. This single IC is connected to input-output unit and to the primary memory to build a computer system. Thus, a microprocessor contains arithmetic logic unit and control unit. In addition, it also contains internal registers which are used to store frequently required data. These registers are used to improve the speed of execution of programs inside CPU. The microprocessor is connected to external devices such as input, output, and memory with the help of three main buses: address bus, data bus, and control bus. A microcontroller is also a IC, but apart from CPU, it has more components within the IC. There is CPU. In memory, there are two types of memory, RAM and ROM, which are included in the IC. The IC also has input and output ports for connecting serial and parallel type of input-output devices for transfer of data between the IC and the peripheral devices. It has timer circuits to generate accurate time delays and also to use as event counters. There is interrupt circuitry to process external interrupts. There are buses which are used to connect the different components within the IC. Some of the buses are available for other circuits which are interfaced with the help of bus control circuits. So, microprocessor and microcontroller are both integrated circuits, but the internal components are different. As discussed, a microprocessor is a CPU on IC. It has arithmetic logic unit, control unit, and internal registers. A microcontroller has CPU, and apart from CPU, it also has RAM, ROM, input output ports, it has timers, counters. Both these ICs are connected to external world with the help of address, data, and control bus. There are some more minor differences between microprocessors and microcontrollers. Microprocessors are used for flexible type or wide variety of applications. Microcontroller is made to make some applications better and better. A microprocessor can be connected to large amount of memory. Input-output units are external to the microprocessor. These components of input unit, output unit, and memory are within the IC in microcontroller, and hence there is a limited capacity of memory which is present within in a microcontroller. The user can decide how much memory can be connected or can increase or upgrade a microprocessor system and change the system as per his memory requirements. Some small amount of external memory can be connected in a microcontroller, but still the amount of memory in a microcontroller is fixed and limited. A microprocessor has high processing power, a microcontroller has low processing power. A microprocessor has higher power consumption, whereas a microcontroller has low power consumption. So, whenever power requirement is less or we require some systems with battery powered features, microcontrollers come to our aid. Typically, microprocessors process high bits of data. Comparatively, microcontrollers have low bits of data processing, but yet nowadays we have new microcontrollers which can process higher amount of bits of data. A microprocessor is a general purpose processor. It can be used for variety of applications and the user can also run number of applications simultaneously. A microcontroller is made for a dedicated task. It works for a single purpose. It does efficient processing for that particular task. It is useful in making embedded systems. Compared to a microprocessor, for that particular application, microcontroller is more reliable. So, though a microcontroller has less memory, it is less flexible, but it is application oriented, and so for a particular application, it will work much better than what a microprocessor will. The examples of microprocessors are 8086, 8085, and all the series up to Pentium microprocessor. 8051 is a commonly used example of a microcontroller. So, this was a presentation just to understand what is the meaning of a microcontroller. I hope there is clarity in understanding what is a microcontroller and the basic differences between microprocessor and microcontroller. Thank you very much.